the CRKT Jenny Wren. Let's do it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Wes, Suburban Viking. I am from, I am Midgard Axe, and today we're getting into the CRKT Jenny Wren. Now, for some of you guys that are new here to the channel, I want to let you know that I do 2 videos per review. First video is always going to be going over the company's website, going over their specs, and all the information they provide for the axe that I'm reviewing. Then I'll give you guys actual real-world specs, and then I'll give you my ultimate opinion, first impressions on what I think about the axe that I'm reviewing. If you're interested in knowing who CRKT is as a company, I've done a little bit of a background on them when I did the review on the CRKT Freyr axe. I'll put a link in somewhere up here where you can click on it now if you're interested in that. But in this video, let's jump into the website and we're going to pull up the CRKT Jenny Wren Compact. So when you go to the website, it says Jenny Wren Compact. It's got a price of $119. If you scroll down a little bit, it gives you some pictures, some nice pictures of the Jenny Wren Compact there. And then it also goes into a little brief description of it. It says, at home in the understory. Compact as a wren with a bite as big as a bear, the Jenny Wren Compact Outdoor Tomahawk is built to thrive in the backwoods and beyond. With 3 edged sides, no branch, log, or camp meal is safe. Then it goes into a little bit more information there about trifecta, triple edge head for ultimate cutting utility, strong and lightweight, has a glass reinforced nylon handle, is durable and lightweight, and it comes with a versatile sheath for multiple carrying options. Okay, scrolling down a little bit more, it gives you some details about the blade, that it is an SK5 steel. And from the research that I did, the SK5 steel is like 1085 American steel, but it's actually Japanese steel. It is a carbon steel, and depending on what website you go to, guys, some people say it's light to moderate, some people say it's heavy. Do your own research, but it is like a Japanese carbon steel. Scrolling down, it says that the axe comes with a spike and that the blade finish on this thing is a black powder coat. I do like powder coat finishes. I think they hold up very well for all kinds of different things. But axes, they hold up pretty decent. Then it gives you some specs on the measurements there, and then it tells you some more information about the glass reinforced nylon handle, that it is, the style is a tomahawk with sheath, and that the sheath is a thermoplastic. And then when you scroll down a little bit farther down, it'll give you the designer, Ryan Johnson, who designed this axe. And we've covered him before, I believe, with the Freyr axe. I went a step further and did a little background on Ryan Johnson, the designer of the CRKT Jenny Wren Compact. He actually has his own company called RMJ Tactical, and I'll put it up on the screen now. If you go to his website, he has a lot of the axes that he's designed for CRKT on his website as kind of like the original, I guess you would say. But if you go to it, he has a Jenny Wren spike on his website, and this one looks really cool. It's a little bit longer. The bit is a little bit bigger, and I do like the look of it. They do have what looks like a couple different options for the grip panel that goes on the side of the axe there, but it looks pretty cool. But I will tell you that it is expensive. As you can see there, he's asking $500 for that. So if you want one of those, you better bring some money with you. In this video, guys, I'm going to go over a little bit more about the axe itself and less about the company and the website. So online, the specs wise, it says that the bit is coming in at 2.59 inches, and I'm gonna measure mine here, and that's exactly what I got, 2.59 inches on the bit. The overall length of this axe, it says online, is 10.06 inches, and on this one here, I am just shy of 9.5 inches, so we did lose a little bit over half an inch coming to me. It doesn't say anything about the head length. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to measure it from the bit to the end of the spike. And I got 5 3/4 from the bit to the end of the spike. Online it says that it's 1.12 pounds. I'm going to weigh it on my scale and see what I get. And on my scale, guys, I got 1.17 pounds. So fairly close in weight. So with all that out of the way, let's get into what this thing actually brings and what my opinion is. And we're going to start with the sheath. As you saw online, it says it's a thermoplastic. I'll be honest with you guys, it feels like Kydex. you know, like a holster. That's what it feels like this material is. So it feels very durable. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic or anything. It feels like it's a very durable type polymer. It does have some like plastic rivets that are holding it together all the way around. And it does kind of mold the axe head here on the sheath, which is really cool too. It is kind of cool looking on the outside. You do have MOLLE attachments up at the top here, so that's cool if you want to put it on a book bag or, you know, plate carrier or something crazy. If you want to do something crazy like that, you could. It does have a snap here and like a plastic buckle that you can actually put right through here, and it'll actually give you some extra support holding the axe head in. And as you guys saw when I gave you the sneak peek on this thing goes in there really tight and has a nice fit. So all you have to do is just unsnap it here, and then what I had to do, and I'll do it here again, was basically take this buckle and buckle it, and then take it like this and pull it apart like that, okay? I will show you too when you go to enter it. It does snap in place, listen. Which is really cool. It's not coming off. You got to give it some force to take it off, so I do like this sheath. Only thing I don't like about it is I feel like it's a little big. I feel like they probably could have given you maybe a little bit, maybe just 1 or 2 MOLLE slots up top and kind of cut this excess off down right here. Like the RMJ Tactical, if you guys go on his website, his version of this axe, the one that he made, has a similar sheath. I like that one better. It looks a little bit cleaner, and it doesn't look so bulky. But, you know, what we do, guys, on this channel with sheaths, we toss them. Okay, so before we get into the actual axe, I do want to say something really quick. Sometimes when I buy axes to do reviews, I don't always go off of specs. I'll buy them just because I like the way they look. Sometimes I'll buy them because a bunch of you out there have bought them and I don't care about the specs. I want to get it in and review it because there's a ton of you buying it and I want to see if it's going to hold up. This one here was basically all about the way it looked. I didn't care about the specs. I just really enjoyed the design of this axe. So that's why I purchased this one. So going forward, I do look at specs sometimes if I have a specific purpose, but this one here was all about just the way it looked. And like I said in the previous video, guys, this thing came in and a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. They did give the measurements and I didn't look at the specs. I just kind of looked at the pictures and it was a little bit deceiving. When I got it in, I was like, holy crap, this thing is really small. But still, it's still a cool axe. I just wanted to throw that out there. And what brought me to this axe a lot was the design, but it was also this handle. This handle is really cool. It has these dimples in it here, and I will tell you that it feels really good in the hand. It does have 3 rivets, so it kind of like, they're like panels that they put on to the steel ferrule that goes all the way down, and they are pretty thick. And I will say that it feels really good in the hand. You do have a slight hook right here, kind of like a knob. It isn't flared. It's the same length and same width from here all the way down. Okay, you have the same width, so no flare. And you do have a little bit of a hook in the back, so when you go to grab it, you know, you can put it in your hand and you got it resting up against the pad, which I do like in throwing axes. I don't have to have that, but I do like it. And I just really enjoyed this handle. I thought it looked really nice on the steel ferrule here. It just looked really cool. And like I said before, guys, it feels really good in the hand. It has a lot of heft in that handle, and it doesn't feel like a toy either. Even though it looks small and it looks like it might be kind of like a toy, when you get it in your hand, you can really feel it, and it doesn't feel that way. The rivets on it are pushed in really nice. I don't see any problems with it. There's no gaps on the steel ferrule going all the way down to the bottom. There's no gaps, no cracks, no nothing. So the paneling, the grip paneling that they put on here looks really nice, and it also feels really nice. As you guys saw on the website, it says trifecta. Like I said, when I bought this, I didn't really read the specs. I had no idea. But there is a bit on the top of this axe head running from the toe all the way to the spike, which is really cool. So not only do you have a bit, you also have a bit under here where the beard is at the heel. Going up on the bit, you have one all the way across the top of the axe head. You have a spike on the back, and then underneath the spike you also have another bit. So basically from here all the way around you have an edge, which is pretty cool, guys. It's pretty cool. Now I will say that the bit up top, you need to be careful with it. If you're not used to using an axe with a bit on top, it can be confusing and you're not thinking. You could put your hand up there without thinking about it. So I would caution anyone that buys this axe to make sure you really practice with it, use it for a little while, so you don't use muscle memory and put your hand up there, because it does have an edge on top. The edge is nice and even. The forging is nice and even as well. So the edge and the forging is nice and even, in line with the handle, okay? I will say the top is nice and even as well. So we do have a nice even bit on the top and the bit itself. On the back it looks pretty even too, and underneath it does look even as well. I will say this. The bit profile on this thing is a really, really hard point, meaning that you can see where they started to make the bit, and it basically kind of goes up like this and then points really hard. Guys, that edge is okay. It's not the greatest edge. It's more for durability, to where it's not going to chip or break. In my opinion, it's kind of like a manufacturer's grind, giving you that really hard point, but it's not the best edge. I will say that the edge on the front is decently sharp. Is it razor sharp? No, but it's not dull either. But it does have a pretty nice bit. I could use the bit that comes on the bit here. This one up top is not sharp at all. I mean, it's okay, but it's close to being almost completely dull. The one on the back is about the same. The one on the back underneath the spike is about the same as the one on the top of the head. So if you were going to use this, or if I was going to use this, I would have to resharpen this top bit up here, because it really isn't going to do me any good the way it came. And of course, guys, I'm going to sharpen the top of that bit and throw it and see if it sticks like this. I think it would be kind of cool if you were doing carving work, or you needed to kind of hold the axe like this on something, take a piece of wood and bang the handle on the bottom and kind of do some like chipping or carving work with that top edge. I think you could come up with 1,000 different ways to use the top of that bit. I think this design is really freaking cool. I think it's very innovative. I think it's really cool because you don't have a traditional axe here. You don't have a handle coming out of an axe eye. So you have all this space up here that's basically being wasted. Why not put a bit on it? I think that's an awesome idea, and I think people out there would figure out a way to utilize that top bit. I know I would. And like I said before, guys, I do like the design. I do like the beard in it, so you can choke up if you needed to do some carving work. It does look really cool. The spike on the back is pretty daggone sharp back here. I don't think you'll need to do anything to make this thing sharp. I mean, it's come sharp. So it does look really nice. I do enjoy the design, and I do enjoy the handle. So let's get into the one thing that I'm concerned about, and that's the weight and the weight distribution. As you guys know, I take axes, all axes, doesn't matter what they are, if they're a throwing axe, a traditional axe, whatever, and I use them for throwing. This is labeled a tomahawk in some things that I've seen, so I would consider this to be able to be thrown. My only concern with this is that I'm going to show you guys something really quick. This handle is extremely heavy. It almost feels like the head is nothing when you're holding it in your hand. And as you guys can see, watch this. When I go to do like a little weight test on it, watch this. You see how far how it goes down? All the weight is in the handle. And like I said, when you hold it in your hand, you don't feel like you got a ton of weight up top. It feels like you're throwing the handle, okay? And I'll tell you guys this. From my experience, I've thrown axes like this before, and it really depends on the axe. Some axes that I've thrown that have been handle heavy, you have to help that bit over because you don't have any weight up top, okay? And you kind of have to help the axe head rotate over, but it flies pretty decent. Other axes that I've thrown that have been handle heavy have performed almost the same as a pull heavy axe, meaning that for a single rotation, it's pretty decent. But when you start going back for distance, kind of like I've done with the Council Tool Camp Axe, where all the weight was in the pole, it's similar. It can be similar to a handle heavy axe, where when you go to throw it, you get a lot of wrist roll. because all the weight is on your hand. It's all right here. You have nothing driving the bit forward. The only thing you have driving the bit forward is throwing all the weight in the handle. I'm not really sure how this thing's going to fly. Just put it in my hand. I do feel like I'm going to get a nice clean release. I don't feel like I have anything hanging up on my hand down there at the bottom. I do feel like it's going to come out of the hand cleanly, consistently. But I am a little concerned that all the weight is basically from here to here. And it almost makes the top of the head feel like nothing. So would you be able to take this thing and chop a huge tree down with it or do some heavy duty work? No, I don't think you would be. Light to medium work if you were going to use this. As far as throwing goes, guys, this thing has got me stumped. Like I said, I've thrown axes like this before, and it really depends on the axe. Some will fly decent with some help over, and some are going to throw like a pole heavy axe, where after you get back from past single rotations, it's just going to either do this or your wrist is going to feel like it's rolling over all the time, and you're going to have a lot of rotations where instead of it coming in and hitting like this, you're going to kick your hand because the weight's all down here. When it comes in, it's going to try to hit like this all the time. But like always, guys, we're going to make a part 2. We're going to go outside and throw it, see what it does. So to sum up the first impressions, the sheath, really nice sheath. It's nice and freaking durable. I don't see any problems with it. Like I said, it feels like a Kydex. It is a little cumbersome, a little bulky, but it does have a nice snap when it goes in, and it's not coming out unless you give it some force. I do like the buckle up here to secure it even more, or you could use it to hang it if you needed to. Just a really good sheath, okay? As far as the axe goes, I love the design. It did come in a little smaller than expected. That's okay though. I do love the design. Like I said, I love this handle. It feels really good in the hand. I do like the way that they did it. I do like the design that they put into the side panels here on the handle. It feels awesome in the hand. And I do like the fact they put all these bits around this thing, utilizing every bit of steel on top to give you a bit for something, which makes it a very multi-purpose tool. Just a great design. However, I'm not a big fan of the weight. I feel like if you were going to make a handle this thick and this heavy, you should have put more steel up at the top to give it more of an evenly distributed weight, in my opinion. You could have made the axe head up here thicker because the ferrule's really thick. This could have been thicker to distribute that weight a little bit better. So if you guys want to see how well this axe does, if you want to know if this thing is worth buying, come back and watch part 2. I'm going to take this thing outside and I'm going to beat the hell out of it. I'm going to take it back single, double, triple, and probably even quadruple rotations. So small I should be able to fit it in my yard. And I'm going to test the handle, how well these side panels hold up with the rivets. I'm going to test the design and see how well it flies with that, handle heavy weight. I'm also going to sharpen the bits and test the edge quality and see if it holds up and see if it retains its sharpness and see if it dulls really fast. I'm just going to test everything on this axe and see how well it does. So come back and watch part 2 and watch me test this thing in its full entirety, and I'll give you guys my honest opinion at the end and tell you whether or not I think you should buy this axe. But I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I hope this video found you, and I hope you got some good information out of it. But until next time, guys, come back and watch part 2. Watch me throw this thing like a crazed maniac. But until next time, see ya.